Today is March 6, 2026, and as of this morning, the Iris Shahed Begi is on fire. Not metaphorically on fire, literally on fire. The infrared camera footage released by CENTCOM overnight shows the 240-meter hole of Iran's first dedicated drone carrier burning in the Arabian Sea, targeted again by American forces after having been struck within hours of Operation Epic Fury, his opening salvo on February 28th. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper confirmed in a statement issued between Wednesday night and Thursday morning that American forces had sunk or destroyed more than 30 Iranian vessels during the campaign, and that the Shahed Bagheri, which he described as roughly comparable in size to a World War II-era aircraft carrier, had been hit and was currently on fire. The story of the Shahed Bagheri, what it was built to do, what it was carrying, where it came from, and what China's fingerprints on its drone air wing tell us about the future of naval warfare, is the most important story of this entire war that nobody is telling completely. So let me tell it completely from the beginning, because the beginning is not February 28th. It is a container ship called the Perrin that left a South Korean shipyard in the year 2000 and has been transformed piece by piece, year by year, into the most consequential asymmetric naval platform of the 21st century. And the drones it carried before it started burning this morning were not Iranian. They were Chinese. Let us start with the physical facts of what the Shahed Bagheri was, because the numbers are extraordinary, and they have been almost entirely absent from Western media coverage. The vessel was originally built in 2000 at Hyundai Heavy Industries in Ulsan, South Korea, as a Panamax container ship. It does not appear to be at all accidental. A Chinese military wingloom Tibo drone operating under the call sign Yilo 4200 out of Shanghai Bao Airport on China's Hainan Island had been conducting regular flights over the South China Sea since August 2025 while broadcasting false transponder signals, impersonating a Belarusian cargo aircraft on the United States Treasury's OFAC sanctions list a Royal Air Force Typhoon fighter jet, a North Korean passenger aircraft, and a Gulfstream executive jet. At least 23 such spoofed flights had been logged. When analysts overlaid the flight paths on a map, they concentrated around Taiwan's key military installations, and extended along the southern coastline. Singapore-based analyst Alexander Neil, reviewing the data, described the pattern as extensive rehearsals across the South China Sea to be deployed over Taiwan's key points. This was not a drone performing random surveillance. This was a drone conducting systematic deceptive reconnaissance against military targets. It was pretending not to be interested in. From a platform that looked like commercial aviation traffic to anyone tracking it on a civilian flight. Radar, the same aircraft type, the same deceptive methodology, the same satellite-linked sensor fusion architecture deployed in the Arabian Sea against the USS Abraham Lincoln 3 weeks later. The timeline of how the Shahed Bagheri went from a cargo ship in South Korea in 2000 to a burning drone carrier in the Arabian Sea on March 6th of this year is one of the most carefully executed long-game strategic projects in the modern history of irregular naval warfare, and it was enabled at every critical stage by technology relationships that connect Iran directly to China's defense industrial base. Former Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant revealed the existence of the Shahed Bagheri program at a conference at Reichman University in May 2023, presenting imagery of the vessel under conversion and warning that Iran was building what he described directly as a floating terrorist base, carrying a wide range of weapons including drones, missiles, and advanced intelligence and attack systems. At the time of Gallant's warning, the conversion was 2 years from completion. The Israeli intelligence community had been tracking it since approximately 2022. The United States intelligence community was tracking it simultaneously. CENTCOM made the decision to strike it within hours of launching Operation Epic Fury, confirming in its March 2nd social media post that the Shahed Bagheri was the only carrier that had been hit, and that American forces struck it within hours of launching the operation. Clears throat. The speed of that targeting decision, the fact that the Shahed Bagheri was among the first named targets confirmed struck in the entire campaign, tells you exactly how high it ranked in the American target set. CENTCOM was not surprised by the Shahed Bagheri. It had been planning to destroy it the moment the war began. Hit that subscribe button right now, because what we are about to get into is the specific question that the Shahed Bagheri's destruction raises rather than resolves. The ship is burning. Its air wing has been destroyed or scattered. The immediate carrier tracking threat it posed to the Abraham Lincoln has been neutralized. But here is the question that every analyst who has spent the past 7 days watching this war needs to answer. The Shahed Bagheri was Iran's first dedicated drone carrier. Iran has already converted 3 other merchant ships into military platforms. The Iris Shahed Mahdavi, converted from the container ship Sarvan, functions as a floating ballistic missiles from shipping containers on its forward deck, having fired DESL medium-range ballistic missiles during a deployment in February 2024. The Iris Makran, converted from a crude oil tanker, functions as a helicopter carrier. The Shahed Rudaki functions as a drone and missile launch platform. And according to the Covert Shores Intelligence Analysis by H.I. Sutton, another merchant ship is currently under conversion at the ISO shipyard west of Bandar Abbas. Work began in 2023. The Shahed Bagheri is on fire. The conversion program that produced it is not. Iran builds these ships in 2 years from commercial hulls that cost a fraction of what a naval warship costs. And China supplies the drone technology that makes them operationally relevant. Destroying one does not end the program. It accelerates the argument for building the next one. Here is the specific capability gap that the Shahed Bagheri was designed to fill, and why China's wing loom technology was the key that unlocked that gap. Iran's shore-based drone and missile architecture is lethal, but geographically constrained. The College-Far anti-8 ship ballistic missile battery on Iran's Chabahar coast has a range of 300 kilometers. The NOR and Qatar anti-ship cruise missiles mounted on coastal launchers have ranges of approximately 170 and 200 kilometers respectively. The Shawad 136 loitering munitions can travel over 2,000 kilometers at cruise altitude, but are slow and require launch platform within reasonable operating range. All of these systems share one fundamental limitation. They are tied to Iran's coastline. A carrier operating 250 km off Chabahar is within range. A carrier operating 350 km off Chabahar is outside range. 350 kilometers of open water represents a geographic sanctuary, a position from which the carrier can launch its aircraft against targets across Iran, while remaining beyond the engagement envelope of Iran's most dangerous coastal systems. The Shahed Bagheri eliminated that sanctuary. A drone carrier operating in the Gulf of Oman, positioned between Iran's coast and the Abraham Lincoln's position, could extend Iran's surveillance reach to cover the entire sanctuary zone. Its wing loom-derived platforms with endurance measured in tens of hours, and sensor packages designed to detect ships at long range could find the carrier anywhere in the operating area. Generate a precise targeting fix and relay that fix to the shore-based missile batteries waiting for a firing solution. The sanctuary becomes a kill box. That is the threat the Shahed Bagheri represented. That is why CENTCOM struck it within hours of the war beginning. The Chinese drone technology aboard the Shahed Bagheri was not delivered in a single transaction. It was the product of a relationship between Iran's IRGC and China's defense industrial base that has been building.